Hello, hello, and welcome. This is a weekly reading vlog. So it is currently the 22nd of July, which means it is the Reading Rush week. Last year, the Reading Rush was known as Booktubeathon, and I did actually take part. I think I ended up getting through 4 books, I want to say, maybe 4 or 5. I think it was 4. But I thought I would give it a go again this year, and I've been super quiet on here for quite some time now. That's a whole nother story. We're not going to get into that today, but I'm here. We're going to do the reading rush. I have already started, as it is already 3:15. So this morning, and I do actually mean like really early this morning, as in really late last night, once it hit 12, I did start reading Rules for Vanishing. This wasn't originally going to be on my TBR for the reading rush, but I ended up getting this advanced copy from work. I believe it comes out in October. I'll have to double check that. September. It's a September release. It's set to release the 24th of September. Rules for Vanishing is a young adult thriller, I would put it towards. It does have a little bit of maybe a horror element in that some of the things that are happening on this road that they find is quite graphic, if I may say so myself, but definitely a thriller. It's basically about this group of teens that find this mysterious road that there's this lore of in their town, known as the Lucy Gallows Road, I guess. I'm gonna be terrible at this, it's been some time. One of the teens, Sarah, who is, I guess, the main protagonist in this story, lost her sister a year ago, and she believes that she will find her sister on this road, as when her sister Becca disappeared, she left a notebook behind that had all this information on Lucy Gallows, which is the lore of the town, and about this secret road that they end up finding and they are on. I am currently like almost halfway through. I'm on page 163, and it's told in a really intriguing way. So it's kind of told through first person perspective of when it's happening, and then also a perspective of after the fact, and they each being interviewed about what happened. And then it's also kind of being told through video footage, which is really hard obviously as it is a book, but it's also being told through video footage from the night as well. So there's a few different formats in there. It's pretty cool. Like I said, I wasn't actually planning on reading this. It's just that I got a copy through my work and I have to read it because someone else wants to read it, and I don't want to be that person that's holding on to it for too long. So I'm going to make sure I read it this week, and we're off to a good start. I am using Rules for Vanishing for the prompt, read a book in the same spot for the entire time, and that spot is my bed, because I do a lot of reading in my bed and it's just easy, and something like this that's a lot lighter and has that more addictive element that you want to keep reading is really easy to read in bed. I don't know, there's something about it, like contemporaries and stuff like that. I always love to read almost in one sitting. But yeah, so other than last night after 12, once it was the 22nd, and this morning, that's how far I've gotten through that. This morning I also did a few odd jobs around the house, and I was listening to the audiobook for Howl's Moving Castle at the same time. That is a super short book, so I'm actually pretty much done. I only have like an hour left. It's like a 3-4 hour book, and I only have an hour left, so I'll definitely finish that one today, which means 1 book down, which is awesome. And as I don't actually own that one, I can't really claim it for a book with purple on the cover, although I do believe the version that I do like has got purple on the cover. So I'm using Howl's Moving Castle for the prompt, read a book and watch the movie adaptation, because I haven't watched Studio Ghibli's Howl's Moving Castle in a very, very long time, and it's honestly one of my favorite ones. and it's got so many amazing elements in it, and I can definitely see how you could be inspired by Diana Wynne Jones' book. It has everything there, and it's so vivid, and the audiobook has music in it, and it's just, yeah, I can see why Studio Ghibli took it on and created it. It's one of Hayao Miyazaki's original works, and I'm just excited to watch that sometime this week. I'm not sure when, probably Wednesday. It's my day off this week. So the other prompts that aren't yet covered are read a book with purple on the cover, which I kind of have two books that I thought about doing for this one. So I have Girls of Paper and Fire. I'm holding this so weirdly. Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Ngan. This quite clearly has purple on the cover. It is also a book that I meant to read last year, and it's also a book with a non-human main character. So, winning, yes. But then again, Howl's Moving Castle is also a book with a non-human character in it. But if I want to keep it going, I could also read Girls of Paper and Fire because, like I said, I meant to read it last year, which is another prompt that I need to cover. Read an author's first book. I want to reread Throne of Glass. I've been wanting to reread this for a while. It's in my 9 series I want to read in 2019 because I want to annotate these hardcover babies of mine. So this is an option. Obviously, it's a fantasy, it's heavy. Can I get it done in a week? Debatable. But you never know, and I guess this could count for purple on the cover because there's some purple down here and like in the fire and stuff, so we could like forget that because I definitely can't read both of these big fantasy babies in 1 week, but because I've read this before, it's probably going to be a faster option. I'm just saying. Those are all the prompts. I've said them all so far, but I'm not set in what I'm actually going to read for them. Another thing that I might read for a book I meant to read last year is Little Monsters. I'm pretty sure I wanted to read it for Booktubeathon last year, I want to say, almost, maybe. That is actually on audiobook, and it would be good to pick up another audiobook because so far I only had the one, which was Howl's Moving Castle set, and getting through audiobooks is a like amazing way to get through books in a readathon. Like, you can do other things. Like this morning I cleaned my room, not this room, a different room. You can't see the mess, so it's fine. And I did some cooking and some grocery shopping, and that's how I've already pretty much finished a book today. So I highly recommend audiobooks. I freaking love audiobooks. So I do want to make sure I get some others on there, but I need to make sure they actually match with some of the prompts. Yeah, okay. That's enough talking from me for now. I am going to go take this dog of mine, which is down here, for a walk. Yeah, exciting times. And I'm going to finish Howl's Moving Castle while I do that because I only have an hour left and I listen to it on 2 point speed, so that's half an hour. That's roughly how long we take walks for. So that'll be done. I will catch you in the next clip. Princess! Yeah! Okay. Hi. Yeah. Good morning and happy Wednesday. I didn't film anything yesterday. I had work, I had poll, and I just didn't really feel like filming yesterday, but I did do a lot of reading. So to catch you up on where I'm at for this week, I started Throne of Glass yesterday and I am already at page 123, almost at chapter 17. So that's going great. I am annotating, but like the way I annotate is a little bit different. I don't go in with the colors straight away. As I read, I have a grey lid with me and I underline or make note of whatever I want to make note of. And then after I finish the book, here she comes. Oh yes, just stretch right in front. Okay. And then after I finish the book, I go back through and I find all my underlinings and I make them the colors and everything that, like the tabs and stuff that I want. I find that this helps like set everything in my brain, like because I'm going over it again, and it's just a way that like it's not non-committal, basically. That's where we're at on Throne of Glass. Rules for Vanishing, which is my read in the same spot. I didn't do as much reading for because I ended up going to bed quite late because I end up polling very late on Tuesdays. So I only got 30 pages read last night and then I actually got another 30 read this morning. So I'm on 222. Definitely towards the end of the book now. This book is actually really fascinating and I've never read a book told like this myself. I'm sure there's plenty out there, but I haven't personally. I think I've already spoken about it, but it's told in a format that's like all different ones. So it's like video footage, it's camera footage from like people's phones, it's a written testimony from the main character, Sarah Donahue. It has footage from people that were stuck in this place where they go on the road from years ago, and it's kind of like this crazy trippy ghost story thing happening the whole time, and there's rules that you have to follow, and if you break the rules then bad things happen and like people are dying and just it's crazy, and I'm constantly shocked by it, and I'm really enjoying this one so far. So I'm hopefully going to get a little bit more read today, but we'll see. I'm actually not feeling like being in bed for once, which is like not normal for me in the past few months, but a good thing nonetheless. So we'll see how much more I get read of this one today, but it's probably going to be a Throne of Glass day. And then the third book that I'm currently reading is Little Monsters. This is my audiobook, but as I do own it physically, I am keeping track of the pages read. So yesterday I actually got through a lot. I got through 100 pages yesterday through the audiobook, and I'm just before halfway. So we'll get a little bit more read of this because I'm about to go out for lunch, take myself on a little solo date. Not really solo, because I'm going to bring my dog. I'm going to bring Fox, but we'll get some of this read in the car on the drive. And I don't know whether I'm going to just keep listening to my audiobook or if I'm going to pick up Throne of Glass while I'm at the cafe. I haven't really decided. It's probably going to be the audiobook because that's just kind of easier, but I really want to keep reading Throne of Glass, and this is a chunky boy to get through, so we will decide. Later today, after I get home from lunch, I am going to watch Howl's Moving Castle because it's a really nice day and I feel like it's just a good day to watch Studio Ghibli. So I'm gonna do that and it's gonna be awesome, and that will fully complete my read and watch a movie adaptation. I will catch you in a bit. Okay, I am now back home and I just had a lovely lunch with my big baby boy and got to see my old boss, who's actually also one of my really good friends, and chatted to her for a little bit. Now, as I said, I'm back home in pajamas. Fox is still right here off camera. I've got myself a little vegan apple and cinnamon custard donut, which is an exciting time. I've got a big old cup of mint tea ready to keep me going because I'm going to start Howl's Moving Castle in just a second, which is what you can hear in the background. Before I do that though, I am going to update my Reading Rush page because I didn't put any of my pages read in last night. So I'm gonna quickly do that. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to rewatch this for so long and this finally gave me the perfect reason to. I know there's a lot more that happens in this than happens in the film, in the book, because the book is honestly tiny. It took no time to get through and I feel like I remember more things that happened that didn't happen in the book. Does any of this make sense? Probably not. I feel like I should just stop now, have my tea and donut, and watch the movie. So Howl's Moving Castle is done. It was amazing. I would always rate this as one of my favorite. So I'm just showing off this really beautiful steelbook cover that I got of Howl's. Anyway, I would always rate Howl's Moving Castle as one of my favorite Studio Ghibli films. It doesn't quite beat Kiki or Nausicaa, but you know, it's pretty magical. It's pretty beautiful. Pretty much any of Hayao Miyazaki's Studio Ghibli films are my favorites. So there's a few in there, but top 5? Because there's also Totoro and Spirited Away. Look, Studio Ghibli is a really great time, and if you haven't watched them, I highly recommend you do. But please watch them in Japanese first, because it's more magical that way, and it's how the story is meant to be told. And I feel like sometimes with the English dubs, the American voices sort of take away from the story, personally, but you know, you do you. Anyway, I'm going to read some Throne of Glass before I completely lose natural light and have to start dinner and stuff like that. So let's get some reading in. Hello, it's Friday. I am apparently vlogging every second day or updating you every second day because let's be honest, I'm not entirely like vlogging. I did do some stuff yesterday. I read a little bit in my car before I went to PT. And I actually have some footage of my PT session thanks to my friend and personal trainer, Ellie. She filmed a few clips, so here's like a little quick tiny montage of me doing things at the gym. Well, that was different. Anyway, I have actually just been like chilling. I had work today and I was catching up on everyone's Reading Rush vlogs because what says reading rush than watching everyone's vlogs and then feeling like you should be reading than just watching other people read instead of reading? Anyway, I'm in a really weird mood. Okay, I actually just saw that Books with Chloe, one of my favorite people ever, is doing an Instagram live read-in, which that's the only read-in I'm ever gonna get to because I get to stay home and do it. So she said like 50 minutes ago that she's going to do it in like an hour, and like I said, it was 50 minutes ago. So that should be happening soon, which is good because that's going to kick my butt into actually reading some more today. I have read a little bit of Throne of Glass today. Let's see, can I do this one-handed? I'm on page 233, and that makes like 30 pages read today, which isn't like, it's not great, but you know, whatever. I finished Rules for Vanishing. I really loved it. It kept me guessing almost the whole time. There was a point towards like the last third, maybe quarter of the book that I was like, I think I know what's happening. And it sort of started to like piece together. So in that sense, I like really enjoyed it because it takes a lot for me to not know what's going on. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty good at guessing things and figuring out things because honestly, everyone puts the work there for you. It's always there. When you go back and you know the like shock twist, you can see everything that was foreshadowing it. So generally I'm like pretty good at picking that sort of stuff up, but this one kept me guessing because even though it was giving you the clues, you had an unreliable narrator. My favorite thing. I love an unreliable narrator because you never know if you're getting the whole truth. The point, the word unreliable. Anyway, so that made it more interesting and that made it more difficult for me to guess what the heck was happening. So I really liked it. Rules for Vanishing. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars because there were some points where I was a bit like, it's not, yeah, it could have been executed a little bit better. But if you want something that'll keep you guessing, and if you want something that genuinely reads as a scary movie, Rules for Vanishing is your guy. I also finished yesterday Little Monsters. That one, I think I gave it 3 stars in the end because it was predictable, like quite predictable. It had a very Pretty Little Liars vibe. I should really be holding these books, but you know what? I'm in my lounge room and I can't be bothered, and I'll like discuss them at the end anyway. It had a very Pretty Little Liars vibe in the terms that it was about a girl that had been killed, oddly, after they'd spent a night in a barn. Weird. Her 2 closest best friends are trying to like figure out what the heck happened and like what happened to her and like was it her brother? Oh no, like anyway. I'm so sorry. I don't know what this mood is. So yeah, it was alright. It was okay. It's not the greatest, and like I said, it was predictable, but it was an okay time. Anyway, so that meant that I had finished my audiobook, so I did actually start The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which can count towards the book with 5 or more words in the title, because I'm definitely not going to be able to get to Girls with Paper and Fire. Sorry, Girls with Paper and Fire. Anyway, I am 2 hours into Evelyn Hugo, so that's pretty good too. That's not bad. So I'm just gonna wait for Chloe. I might maybe get a cup of tea. Do I have enough time to do that? Yeah. Let's get a cup of tea, get my glasses on, because I've been doing a lot of reading without my glasses and I think my head hates me for it. Whoops. And settle in. Okay, I'm back. Hey. Have tea now. 24/7 grumpy. That's me. And gonna go back to reading. I'm so sorry. Hello everyone and happy Sunday. Also happy final day of the reading rush. I thought I would sign off everything here. I just had a really chill day, honestly. This morning I did finish Throne of Glass. I'll talk about that in a second. And I took my beautiful dog for a walk because it was actually really nice weather today. Ah! Oh, you can't do that. Okay, quick talk. I have like an hour and a half left of The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Chances are I probably will finish that by tonight, by the end of the reading rush, like the official end of the reading rush. But I can't technically count it right now. I might do like a little update if I do happen to finish it and can be bothered, but for now it kind of doesn't count, but like also I want it to count because that was my, like that completes all of my challenges. You know, that's pretty good. Recap. What did I read this week? I read Howl's Moving Castle. I don't own a copy, so I can't physically hold it, but read Howl's Moving Castle, loved it. Watched Howl's Moving Castle, loved it even more. I'm gonna be honest, I definitely am partial to the anime to the book, but that's just because it's Hayao Miyazaki and he knows how to do a good anime. Next, I finished Rules for Vanishing. I ended up giving this a 4-star. I really enjoyed Rules for Vanishing. I already spoke about it, but it had those twists and turns that I actually wasn't able to really predict. It was a really cool, different kind of trial sort of setup where you had to make it through certain sections and like follow the rules and all that sort of stuff. Really cool book. Comes out in September. If you like a little bit of like a horror story, this is your guide. This one's really good. I really enjoyed it. I only started to pick it towards the end when they were making it a lot, like they were making it pretty obvious like what was going on, I thought. But up until then I like could not figure out what was happening. I could tell something was wrong and I could tell that we had an unreliable narrator, but that whole thing didn't come together until right at the end, and I really enjoyed this one. Then I finished Little Monsters. Was a little bit disappointed with this one. I ended up giving it a 3-star rating only because I was still intrigued. I wanted to know what was going on, like, and confirm that I was correct in my assumptions, which I was. So Little Monsters by Kara Thomas, yeah, it's still a fun read. It's a really fast and easy read. It's just predictable. It follows a pretty obvious formula, especially if you're already versed in things like Pretty Little Liars. It's already all there for you. Like, you know what's going on. Like, nothing really shocked me in this book. So, yeah. Then I finished this bad boy. Throne of Glass, 5-star rating because I love Throne of Glass. Do I really have to talk about what Throne of Glass is about? Like, I feel like most people already know. Anyway, Throne of Glass is about an assassin, Selena Sardothian, and she is taken from one of the worst enslavement camps, Endovia, to participate in the king's competition to be to be the king's champion and become his personal lackey and personal assassinator. Assassin. I'm sorry. So this is also like another really fun test trial kind of thing. There's also magic happening, there's word marks, there's demons, there's crazy monsters, and there is a lot of foreshadowing. This is the reason I'm currently rereading it, is I want to see how much Sarah J Maas actually put into the books. This is an 8-book series and it finishes pretty epically. I did read that towards the end of last year when it came out in October, so I'm going back to the beginning. Hi. Oh, thank you so much. And seeing how much I can get out of it. And I am annotating it. It doesn't look like I have, but all of my underlinings are there. The way that I annotate is when I go through it, I do it with a grey lead and I write my little notes, or if I want to write notes or whatever. And then I go back and I sort of solidify everything by going back and doing all my color coordinating after. So yeah, finished that one as well. As for tasks completed. Read a book with purple on the cover. Throne of Glass has purple within the fire and hair, in her hair and everything and stuff like that. There's definitely purple there. Read a book in the same spot the entire time. I read Rules for Vanishing in my bed the entire time. Read a book you meant to read last year. That was Little Monsters. I meant to read it, I'm pretty sure, in last year's booktubeathon. I could be wrong, but I definitely meant to read this last year. It could have also been for Spooktober because it's a thriller, but definitely meant to read it last year. Read an author's first book. That was Throne of Glass. It was Sarah J Maas's first book. Read a book with a non-human main character. Howl's Moving Castle. Howl is a sorcerer, wizard, whatever you want to call him. He's definitely not a human. Let's be real here. He ain't human. Pick a book that has 5 or more words in the title. Now this would be The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I am loving. At the moment it's sitting at a 5-star read. I'm like genuinely really enjoying it. And I think what I figured out that I loved that Taylor Jenkins Reid does is her dealings with fame life, I guess. I really loved her expressions in Daisy Jones and the Six, and it's dealing with like how people take on that persona that they need to take on when they're doing what they love, but what they love comes with the unfortunities of celebrityism and like fame. And as an actor myself, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is really fascinating, as Evelyn is an actor herself and she navigates it in a way that I would never think to navigate Hollywood or film at all. I don't think many people would choose to navigate it that way, especially in this day and age, but it's still a fascinating story, and it's also fascinating to watch the destruction and the damage that comes with it, and I think that's what Taylor Jenkins Reid does really well. So I'm really liking it. Like I said, I have an hour and a half, so chances are I will finish it in bed tonight before midnight, and that will count. So I'm just gonna like cheekily give myself a tick for that. And read a book and watch the movie adaptation. That was Howl's Moving Castle, like I said, and like you saw. And for my page count, I think I'm somewhere at like 1,500 or maybe closer to 2,000. I'm not sure, but I did pretty damn well. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully this is the return of Little Book Mouse. We don't know. Who knows? I am not promising like anything because next month is kind of a crazy month, but yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye!